want any more bullshit.
Bullshit free gang, stand up! Some of y'all done let them do it to you, haven't you? Yeah, y'all done let some of these bitch-ass whining motherfuckers get you down on your team, convince you should be all upset and shitty and just righteously indignant about your team. Some of y'all done let them get to you. Yes, you have. I heard y'all on Twitter. You ain't happy with being 5-2 in the last 7? Really? Really? Y'all butthurt because your team hadn't beat a team with a winning record yet? Yeah? You think that matters? Well, the Jets have. They've beaten 2 of them. What's that mean for them? Does that make them a good team, a better team than the Colts? Fuck out of here. Y'all mad because they only blew out the Jets, quote unquote, only by 15 points when the game was really 42-10 before the Colts start kind of mailing it in? Man, I told y'all about the signal and the noise. Y'all got to stop listening to the noise. You got to stop buying into the fucking narratives. Here's real talk. Here's real fucking talk. The Colts are one missed kick from a gimpy-ass field goal kicker away from being 6-4 right now and at the top of the wild card chase. And I'm going to tell you this. Where they are with the wild card race all jumbled up right now, where they are sitting at 5-5 is about the best we could have ever hoped for after they started 0-3. When you start 0-3, you usually out of there. You feel me? The offense has been rolling. Jonathan Taylor's a fucking megastar. We're watching Michael Pittman Jr. blossom into a star right in front of our eyes. Carson Wentz is balling out 90% of the time. He's dropping multiple touchdowns in like 6 straight games and sitting at 17 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions. Yeah, they got cooled off a little bit yesterday after the first quarter, but really, if you go back and watch the game, it wasn't so much that they sucked, like I've heard to all these people. Oh, the offense was terrible. Not really. Fucking Jacksonville Jaguars defense just adjusted and started balling out, and then there were some mitigating factors. We're going to talk about all of it in just a second. I'm going to tell you why you should be real excited, because the truth of the matter is the Colts are in perfect position to make a playoff push where they're sitting right now. And as much as I thought this couldn't happen when they started 0-3, I'm happy to say I think they got a damn good fucking chance of making it into the playoffs, and I hope to God I'm right. But I'm going to get into all of this. I'm going to tell you why I need to stop listening to these negative naysayer cornball motherfuckers and be very encouraged in just a second. But before we do, let me be a gracious host and welcome you back, or if it's your first time, welcome you to the #1 uncensored NFL podcast in the world, the often imitated but never duplicated, 100% unique, always entertaining, always controversial, and always straight up with no chaser, the world's famous bullshit-free Colts podcast, the only podcast on the planet where you get to hear all things worth talking about when it comes to our beloved Colts. But here, baby, you hear it with no coach speak, no spin, no PR, no political correctness, and most importantly, 100% without any fucking bullshit. I'm your host, Harkan Ajala, at your motherfucking service as always. And look, if you left that game yesterday all butthurt, like I saw a whole lot of these so-called fans and so-called Colts podcasters and so-called Colts journalists, I'm going to tell you like I told all of them, you need to get more pussy, for real. For my ladies, you need to get more dick in your life. Or whatever, for my LGBTQ Colts fans that are listeners, you need to get more of whatever sexual organ works for you in your fucking life. This is an exciting season. The offense is clicking. We got the #1 fucking running back in the league. We got a fucking rising star who's catching everything all over the place at wide receiver, who's only in his 2nd year. We got a quarterback that can move and has a fucking rocket arm. The offensive line is finally healthy and starting to dominate. And, I mean, Rock Ya-Sin of all fucking people. Y'all thought he was ready for the junk heap, and so did I. Rock Ya-Sin of all people's balling out. He's playing great every week. Isaiah Rodgers is looking good on the other side. I'm wondering if Xavier Rhodes is even going to be able to get that starting position back. And then most excitingly, we got both our rookie pass rushers playing in the game now. Both of them had their first sack yesterday. And Deo, the fucking Hurricane, caused a forced fumble that sealed the game for us. Kwity Paye had a sack and 3 quarterback hits yesterday. He's got like 10 quarterback hits over the last 3 games and a gang of pressures. I don't know if y'all fucking noticed, but they had pressure on Trevor Lawrence's ass all day yesterday. Consistent pressure. Defoe Buckner's playing like an all-pro as usual. Grover Stewart is looking great. Man, we had pressure all day yesterday. 3 sacks? For this team, that's fucking progress. And if Luke and Jason over at For the Culture podcast, fucking buddy, Matt Eberflus, looks up blitz on 3rd and 19 in the fucking NFL Defense for Dummies book, we might be in fucking business. Hey, shout out to Luke and Jason. I don't even know. I heard that, they're close with Flus or whatever. I don't know that that's confirmed, but if it is, I reached out to them both and was like, yo, can you tell your fucking guy to blitz when it's 3rd and 29, bro? I mean, what the fuck? And well, there's a lot of doom and gloom naysaying motherfuckers out there predicting this team is trash. They're no good. They're, fire Ballard, fire everybody. Okay, while they're all out there predicting doom and gloom for the last 6 games of the season, 17 games this season now. Not only is this an entertaining year and an entertaining team to watch, but I'm actually quite encouraged and optimistic, and not just because I'm in my feelings or I'm into my fanboy shit, but based on facts, logic, and reason, as always, and I'll tell y'all why. But before I do, really quick, we're going to get this housekeeping out of the way really quick today. If you're still listening to me right now, I curse a lot. I don't pull punches. I don't blow smoke up anybody's ass. I'm not on here acting like a member of the Colts PR staff. I'm talking to you exactly the way I talk to my friends who are fans. So if you're still with me, I know you're a motherfucking pimp. So take your pimp ass finger and smash the like button down below so that this algorithm that everybody has to deal with shares this podcast far and wide all over the world with other bleeding blue, diehard, cool-ass Colt fan motherfuckers like yourself. It's free to you, but it's priceless to us. So again, smash the like button right now. Make sure you share this with other people like yourself who will enjoy it. Make sure you're subscribed because YouTube be on some bullshit. So you got to be subscribed and click the bell to make sure you have the best chance of finding out whenever I drop these. And as always, if you dig what we're doing, you want to support us, you can always donate $10, $20, $15, $5, even $1 at any of the 3 ways below. And for the real super duper bullshit free Colts pimp motherfuckers, if you want to offer your maximum support and also get some exclusive content that nobody else gets, make sure you sign up for the Patreon. The link's right below. And with that, let's get down to business. Let's talk about not only this Jaguars game, but the Jets game too, since I didn't do a podcast last week on that one. Let's break this shit down and dirty, straight no chaser with no bullshit. Or, said another way, let's chop it the fuck up. Okay, now look, let's talk about what's really going on with the Colts and the NFL this season, like it does always, every season. And I'm not talking about the fanboy or the fangirl bullshit. I'm not talking about the national pundits, talking heads, don't know what the fuck they're talking about, prisoner of the moment perspective. We get that all the time. My God, these motherfuckers out here talking about the New England Patriots are a fucking Super Bowl contender. Get the fuck out of here. Tell me you masturbate thinking about Bill Belichick in a thong without telling me you masturbate thinking about Bill Belichick in a thong. Motherfucker, please. Okay, they're 6-4. They surprised the team and beat a team down 45-10 or whatever it was. Now all of a sudden, the New England Patriots are Super Bowl contenders, really? Well, here's something funny. Let me tell you something you probably didn't think about. The Patriots are 6-4. If the Colts kicker had made one kick against Baltimore The Colts would be sitting at 6-4 right now, and they'd be tied with New England at the top of the wild card chase. Let that shit sink in for a minute. Guys and girls, you cannot be fucking listening to this national narrative bullshit. Listen, let me tell you something. The reason they have narratives, okay, is because people are attracted to stories. People love stories. So if they reported to you what was really going on in the NFL, it's not nearly as exciting. That's just the truth, because all the fucking teams are on par with each other, period. Tennessee's 8-2 in the AFC. They're 4 or 5 plays away from being 3-5, regardless of what the fucking happy to be, 8-2 ass Tennessee Titans fans are. Some of these motherfuckers are like, I went back and forth with some of them for a while Sunday night. It was just fucking fun and hilarious. Tennessee Titans fans on Twitter acting like the fucking Lombardi trophy is imminent because they're 8-2. What the fuck? Is 7 games to play, you cornballs. They're talking about, hey, we won a division title. Man, get some hardware, bitches. Get some Lombardis. Get one. Can't even talk to us yet. Anyway, let me tell you the real deal. Let's take the Colts, okay? Here's the truth. Now, we all knew they had the hardest beginning schedule of any team in the league this year. The first 5 games, we all knew it was likely they could be 0-5. It was possible. Maybe not likely. It was definitely possible. They could be 0-5 in the first 5 games, even if they played pretty well. They had a hard fucking schedule. Now, they started off 0-3, and they really should have won that Rams game, to be quite honest. But again, this is a team that was being put together from scratch in a lot of ways because you got a brand new quarterback in there. A quarterback that took 0 snaps in the preseason and almost no snaps in the fucking training camp. So you got a bunch of guys that are trying to get on the same page in game, live game action. But look, I'm not giving you excuses. I'm just telling you, here's the truth. The Colts went 0-3. They lost the first 3 games. Now they're 5-5. They've won 5 of the last 7. So they're 5-2 over the last 7 games. Here's reality. If the first 3 games of the season had been the last 3 that the Colts played, and the Colts had started off 5-2, the narrative around them would be completely different right now. They'd still be being talked about right now as Super Bowl contenders in the AFC. You know why? Because that's what so many people anticipated they would be before the season started. So they would have stuck with that narrative. The Colts could still be 5-5 right now, having lost the last 3, but because they started off 5-2, people would still be talking about them as AFC contenders. They'd be saying, hey, those last 3 that they lost, those were tough teams. Now, keep in mind, they probably would have been 6-4 because they probably would have caught Seattle with Geno fucking Smith starting at quarterback. So look, they went 5-2 over the last 7. There's 7 games to play, correct? If they go 5-2 over the next 7, they're 10-7, and they got a damn good chance of making the playoffs. Now, you may say, oh, well, the next 7 aren't as easy. They got these tough teams, and yeah, some of those teams don't look so fucking tough now, do they? Anybody scared of the Raiders? I'm not. You think because Mike Greenberg thinks they're a Super Bowl contender, you got to be scared of the Patriots with a fucking rookie quarterback? Nah. How about Tampa Bay Buccaneers? How they looking right now? Not looking like world beaters. Nothing to be scared of playing them at home. Fuck them. Beat their asses. They can be beat as we've seen the last 2 weeks. Correct? You got to go play Buffalo next week. You almost beat them last year when they were peaking, at the peak of their momentum in the playoffs with Phillip Rivers. What, you got to be scared of Buffalo now? Didn't they just get beat down by the Jags? Held to 6 points, the team that we literally blew out or should have blown out yesterday. And really, as much as people are like, the Jacksonville Jaguars hung around, let me just say this. The Colts defense blew one play, that fucking 66-yard touchdown run. I'm not taking it away from the Jags. I'm just saying the Colts had a fucking backup guy in there. He took a terrible angle, and then the fucker was slow. He should have caught the guy, but he didn't. So they got 166-yard touchdown run on broken coverages. And that's the only thing that really made the game even close to, having some suspense to it. You take away that 6 points, the final score is 23-11, which is that's about indicative, representative of how the game went yesterday. People are all mad because they didn't just blow the Jags out. Look, this is a division game. The Jags have gotten quite a few of their guys back on defense, and I don't care what you say. See, I look at the signal, not the noise. People think that it's just binary, like a team is either bad or they're good. That's not how it works, not in the NFL in particular. The truth of the matter is, what a team looks like depends on when you play them. Jacksonville, for example. Jacksonville's some fucking talent on that defense. Period. They got some talent on that fucking defense. You think a team picking in the top 10 picks 10, 15 years in a row, you don't think they stack a little talent? They do. They got talent on that defense, and they just fucking played well. And even then, if you go back, see, a lot of people, this is what's irritating to me. A lot of people that I see online, whether it's YouTube or Twitter or whatever, talking about the Colts, podcasters, journalists, etc. I'm not saying anything's wrong with them or they're bad people, but a lot of them be giving you fucking knee-jerk reactions while they're in the heat of their emotions. But see, I usually go back and watch the game again 2 or 3 times so I can see what really occurred without looking at it through the prism of my emotions. And like, I looked at the Jacksonville Colts game a couple of times, and people, the offense was terrible. Not really. What really happened is that the Jags kept punting and putting them in terrible field position where their playbook was limited. And even in a couple of those drives, the Colts made big plays to get out of the bad field position, but they got penalties and got them called back. The big run that Jonathan Taylor had, like 25, 35 yards, got called back. He was at the 50. That probably would have led to points. Then they had another time where they got a fucking holding penalty and got pulled back. So again, I mean, they committed the penalties. I'm not saying it doesn't count or it's not the Colts' fault or anything. I'm just saying, to say, oh, they were terrible. I saw people say Carson Wentz was fucking horrible. What? You didn't watch the game. Not without your emotions. I went back and watched it a couple times. He actually made several great plays, and the rest of his plays were fine. He had like maybe 2 throws where he was off, but he was under duress. I don't know if y'all watched it, but he was fucking under pressure, heavy, especially in that second half. And he made some huge play. I guess you motherfuckers didn't see that big boy third down play he made, 26-yard pass on the run under pressure, throws a fucking laser on perfect target to Michael Pittman Jr., who then makes a fantastic toe tap catch on the sideline. That's the fucking play of the game. That's the winning play right there. That gave them first down at like the 30, 35-yard line, and they were able to then use another minute or 2 off the clock, kick a field goal to go up by 6 points, which forced Jacksonville to have to go the length of the field and score a touchdown in order to win. And that means they had to pass because there's only like a minute and a half left. So you were able to unleash the pass rush. So again, I mean, I guess you missed that because I guess maybe you weren't looking for it. Carson Wentz was fine yesterday. He made some big plays. Jonathan Taylor had 117 yards on 16 carries or some shit like that. Michael Pittman had 79 yards on 5 catches. Woody Pay had a sack. Defoe and Deo had a half sack each. Taylor Stallworth had a sack. They had 10 quarterback hits. They had Trevor Lawrence under constant pressure, who, by the way, this is my first time getting a chance to see Trevor Lawrence play this year. Now, it's only one time, but I got to tell you, he didn't look very good at all. Like, if I was a Jags fan, I'd be like, man, fuck. I hope this guy is the guy we thought we were getting, because, I mean, he's 10 games in now. He didn't look that good at all. But then again, he was under pressure, so, it is what it is. Look, for the first time, the defense looked really good for most of yesterday. They caused a turnover. The special teams blocked a punt and ran it in for a touchdown. This is winning football, folks. This is winning football. This idea that you're just going to blow out every team that's bad, no. Listen, this is why teams are quote unquote bad in the NFL. It's usually not that they're just devoid of talent. It's usually that either they might not have the key playmakers they need in the absolute key positions. They're young and they haven't put it all together yet. Sometimes it could just be horrible coaching, but generally it's some combination of those things. They might have a young quarterback or they got young guys that haven't put it all together yet. But even bad teams are going to beat 3-4 teams a year, right? So this idea that, you're just supposed to roll over them, get the fuck out of here. That's not the NFL. Same thing with the Jets last week. They were 42-10. They're up 42-10. They end up winning by 15. Now, the one thing Flus did change this week, even more so from last week, I went back and watched the film of the Jets. What was really concerning about that was that they weren't falling back in that soft-ass zone all the time. They were actually playing quite a bit more man than usual against the Jets. That really made them kind of getting lit up in that second half concerning. But I noticed this game against the Jags, I'm happy to see this. Flus was playing a lot more man-to-man, and I think that is a huge step in the right direction. If he would just blitz when it's 30-92 occasionally, I think that would be the final piece that would make things much, much better for our defense. But Isaiah Rodgers looked good on the other side of Yasin, and that's a great thing because Xavier Rhodes is fucking done. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, thank you for your service, bro. You gave us a good year last year, but he's done. Stick an electric fork in his ass. He's done. I thought Reich's play calling was pretty good yesterday. It was fantastic in the Jets game. It was pretty good still yesterday. Colts need to work on their screens a little bit, but you got to understand something. When you're playing a division opponent in particular, like they know what you're doing, they know your looks. So it's easier for them to sniff those screens out and blow them up. Divisional games are a whole different ball game. No pun intended. That's why people are like, they should blow them out. Well, that's why teams like the Jets always play the Patriots pretty tough. When you're playing a team twice a year, you're building your team to beat the other teams in your division. You feel me? Because that's the surest way to the playoffs. So you know what the other team is doing. It's a little different. Trust me, the Colts are not perfect. No NFL team is. But they got a lot of talent. A lot of it's starting to really put it together. The offense is looking explosive. They're an exciting team to watch. No cap. You can't deny that. So enjoy this shit, man. Don't get all down and butthurt. Enjoy this shit. I'm telling you, don't listen to these fucking naysayer motherfuckers. I'm telling you, I'm convinced that some of these so-called fans, including people who are running podcasts and reporting on the Colts and writing about the Colts online and what have you, some of these motherfuckers, I'm convinced they actually like it better when the Colts lose or play bad so that they can bitch and moan. Like that's what gets their dicks hard or, their coochies wet. Okay? So I'm telling you, sitting at 5-5, one game out of the lead in the AFC wildcard race with 7 games to play after starting 0-3, I'm happier than Kim Kardashian in a room full of dicks. So if y'all want to be like naysaying and doomsaying, go right ahead. For me, I'm looking forward to the stretch run and the Colts making a real run at getting into the playoffs, and then who knows what could happen then. Because keep this in mind, the Colts haven't even had their gimme game yet. They haven't even had their unexpected out of the blue game that every team has every year, right? Where they go and they beat down some team or at least beat some team that you had no idea they would have any chance of beating. Remember they went on the road on national TV and they beat the Chiefs last year? They beat the Packers, right? They haven't even had that game yet this year, and I expect it to be coming in the next 7. So let's give them one of those games that you don't think they could win. Let's say they beat the Bills or the Bucks, okay? Then you got 6 to play. You just got to go 4-2 out of those 6. And I think they can do that. I think they got a good chance of getting in. Not a fucking great chance, but I think they got a good chance of getting in if they continue to get better and better like we've seen them doing so far this season. And they're as healthy as we've probably seen them all season right now. There's talk that they might even get Paris Campbell back before the end of the season. So I'm encouraged. I'm excited. I'm enjoying this shit. Looking forward to seeing how it plays out and cheering my fucking favorite team in the world on for the rest of this season and beyond. And if you got a fucking problem with that, well, eat a dick. I don't give a shit. So anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Am I too optimistic? You think I'm looking through blue-colored glasses? You see what I did there? or what? Let me know in the comments, all right? So I'm going to say to you the same thing I say to any Colts player, coach, front office member that might be listening or watching, because I know some of y'all do, because you get at me sometimes. Let's take this stretch run, grab it by the throat, and make it happen. And let's get in the fucking playoffs. And then let's go out and win another fucking Lombardi, baby. Peace. And win another fucking Lombardi, baby. And win another fucking Lombardi, baby.